Doing actually better now. I'm getting very good care from the people at the hospital, the doctors and nurses. But it is, of course, now I'm starting to realize what has really happened, and as I see the numbers grow, people who have lost their lives on this island, I'm actually getting more and more frightened to know which people this is, because these were actually my friends.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure this is very hard for you to comprehend, and that you're in a state of shock and you've been injured. So, Adrian, if you can, take us back to what you all were doing when suddenly this, what seemed to be a police officer, was in your midst and started shooting. Can you help us understand how it unfolded?
Yeah, I could start from that point when we realized there were bombing in Oslo, and there were many people were unsure, and many people were seeking information. So we decided to gather all the 700 people in our rooms and tell them what actually happened. So this meeting was from just 1 hour before this man came along and tell us that he is a police officer and that he wants to come to this island and support us with this. And we, of course, allowed him to come. And when he came over, I heard a few shots going out. So nobody did actually know what happened when suddenly people were starting to run as fast as they could. And as I was standing and trying to realize what was happening, I did see he was shooting at these people, and these people just fell like 2 meters in front of me. So I started, of course, running as well, as all the island did, to the water, and we tried to swim over, but some of us returned back to the island because it was 700 meters to the other side.
And so you're sitting there, you're running. This policeman has come up and said that he is there to help you. All of a sudden, you realize actually this policeman is starting to shoot all of you. How close did you get to the shooter? Were you able to see him? And where were you shot?
Yeah, the strange thing, people approached him as he was actually shooting, because they thought maybe this was a drill, or maybe this was a test, or maybe something. But nobody expected this to be for real, because, come on, how can this happen in a summer camp in Norway? So many people were still unsure as they were swimming over, but as he opened fire to the water and shot people that tried to swim over to the shore side, I realized I cannot follow them, and I returned. And as I lay down on the shore, on a rock, he was yelling out to these people, and I was maybe 7 meters away from him. As he was yelling, "He's gonna kill you all, and we all should die." So he pointed then his gun at me, but he didn't pull the trigger. He left and returned maybe an hour later, when a few other people have found me and gathered around me. And then the people started running around because they didn't know where to run. He suddenly showed up, and he shot almost everyone. Me and 2 others were laying down, survived because of the bodies we could hang on to and pretend that we are dead.
Oh my goodness. So after an hour, he comes back and he shoots all of you that are huddled there together, and the only reason perhaps you're alive is that you were pretending like you were dead?
Yeah. And when he shot me, he stood, I could feel his breath. I could hear his boots. I was too afraid to open my eyes. But he then fired, and I felt it in my left shoulder.
And were the friends around you, were some of them killed?
Yes, there were. All of them are somehow people I know and my friends. So there are too many people here that stood together for something, and now they are killed because of I don't know why.
So it took a while then for authorities to understand what was going on this island. Probably everyone's focusing on Oslo, and you're having this massacre on the island. He was gone an hour and he came back, so he's still on the loose, still doing killing. How long after you were shot and the people were lying there with gunshot wounds was he apprehended? Did police finally arrive?
We heard shootings almost all the time. Actually, it was quiet just 10, 15 minutes before he came to us for the second time. But when I got shot, it took about an hour before the police arrived, and I was safe on the shore in an ambulance. The whole thing it took part in within 2 hours. So the first hours we were running, we were trying to swim, we were hiding, and the second part they were just a bloody mess.
Oh, well, trying to swim, I would imagine the water was pretty cold, and you realized you couldn't make it. It was too far. Was that part of why you were kind of stuck on this island?
Yeah, I felt I couldn't breathe. I've already swallowed too much water. I've also jumped in because I was the last person running to this shore from this man. So I didn't have time to take my clothes off, and as I was swimming, I felt the clothes pulling me down because they were heavy boots clothes. So I decided to return them. Actually, I weren't sure if I were going to make it because I was already exhausted, but it was a choice. I'm glad I did.
Well, you're alive, even though he ended up walking right up to you and shooting you, and so you all were basically just trapped on that island. As far as you could tell, there was nowhere to go, no way to get away from him.
No, absolutely not. It was an island. There were people everywhere, but you didn't know how many people are armed with guns and where they are. So
right.
That was the problem.
Yes, you had no idea of knowing if he was just one person or if there were more, correct?
Yeah, when the police finally showed up, because this man was in a police uniform. So when the police finally showed up, we gathered approximately 5-6 persons around where we were, and everyone started screaming, crying, and begging police officers to throw away the weapons, because we were so frightened that maybe this were another joke.